So we started off with 3 Ps. We ended up with 4 Ps. And the 3 Ps that we start with were people, perspective, and purpose. And these Ps all revolved around what I learned after having 4 strokes and heart surgery. I said, what was the key takeaway? Talked about people, how I learned the value of people in my life, the perspective that I gained from that experience, and then also the clarity and the purpose that it brought to my life. And as I went through that, several months of thinking and iterating and thinking about, what was the takeaway from those several years, those experiences, and I started to write this down and blog about it. And as we finalized this, one of my friends and mentors, Jill, said, there could be a 4th P here, which is pause. And as I think about this entire project, that's what it's been. It's been a pause project to say, how do we step back and pause and remember what we learned through this experience. So that is the 4th P, and as I wrap this up, it's what this project has been about, is stepping back, pausing, saying, when life hands us different circumstances, let's step back and pause and think about what we learned. So I appreciate Jill for bringing those ideas to light, and this wraps up, kind of that series of people, perspective, and purpose, and then finalizing that there needs to be a pause. So it's been an amazing adventure, one over the last several years as we've been through this, and then 2, to step back and say, how do I articulate this when someone says, wow, what did you take from and I tried to give you some practical examples as we've gone through this about how maybe I've evolved. Over the last year or so, this is a dining room table that I come to every morning, and what I try to do is get away from technology. There is an Echo in the room, an Amazon Echo, where I can put some background music on, but I try to come down in the morning before I start my day, before I look at email, and say, I want to have some quiet time. This is a chance for me to kind of listen to God's Word. It's also a chance for me to journal and to think about some devotionals. So for me, when I think about pause, I've tried to put that into a daily activity, and this is where it happens. Just kind of come down the stairs before I get to my office and say, I want to pause in this area, and before I start my day with all the interruptions that come into life, this is where I start my pause. So now that we've finished the people, perspective, purpose, and pause post, the next idea that I'm going to work on, the next project, is this idea of our smart home. And we have not used an all-encompassing system. I'm a more DIY, a do-it-yourself type person. But the objective at our family is to make every step count. And so even within our smart home and ways that we've tried to become more productive as a family, I'll talk about some of the ideas and solutions that we've put in place, and even try and say which ones work for us, and going back, which ones would I maybe not have done. So that's what's next. Again, it's still making every step count, and the last project was more philosophical. This one's going to be a little bit more tactical in nature.